In today's special French edition of the Glenn and Aaron Show, it's really just the Glenn Show. Aaron's in Florida right now. Today I'm going to share with you 4 ways in which you can set goals that allow you to enjoy the success of them all along the way, even if they're far off in the distance. And I have a free gift for you if you watch this video all the way to the end, so stay tuned. Bonjour mes amis, je suis en Marseille où j'ai loué un appartement avec une belle vue. Aujourd'hui, je vais retourner à Paris pour un... Sorry, somehow I swallowed this and suddenly I was speaking French. So before I left for France, I was cleaning up a little bit so I come home to a nice clean house when I get back to the States. And I found a passion planner. It's a daily planner along with a goal setting, goal tracking component to it. And I found one from 3 years ago. And in it, you're supposed to take 5 minutes to plan out what you want for your lifetime, 3 years from now, 1 year from now, and 3 months from now, and your game changers. And I was looking at 3 years ago, and it said, trip to Paris. And the thing is, that might not sound all that special to you, but at the time, I was going through a divorce that was very painful. I was in a lot of debt. I had never been out of the country. I didn't even have a passport. I didn't really have any idea how I was gonna make that happen. Now here I am, and I've checked off one of the biggest dreams of my life, and I'd like to share a little bit about how I made that work and how you can put that to work in your life. Number 1, dream bigger than you think. And what I mean by this is, sometimes we have these goals and we just kind of start very small. We think about what's manageable, what we could do right now with our current resources and our current situation. And we limit ourselves because we can't see how we can possibly make something bigger happen, or we don't believe in our own abilities to make them happen. I noticed this a bit with that planner I was looking at. I had goals like put in a kitchen island and renovate the bathroom. They were tough goals because I didn't know really how to do those things. I knew how I might get to them. I knew that if I watched some YouTube videos, I could figure it out, and if I asked some friends, they could help me, and that's what I did. And so looking back at that planner, there were a lot of goals that stretched me, but none of them were really, really grand. And the thing is, I reached all those goals. And that made me think now, what if I had set the bar even higher? What if I set the bar even higher than Paris? And so you have to be careful with setting your goals too low. What I recommend is dream your biggest dream and then think of something even grander than that. And don't worry about how you're gonna get there. Don't worry about if you think it's possible or not. Just set it down, write it down, set an intention for that dream. Number 2, break down your goal or dream into small bites. So looking back at my planner, I noticed that when I was trying to renovate my house and remodel the kitchen, I had to break things down into tiny, tiny chunks. Otherwise, it was overwhelming to me. And so some steps might be as small as go to the store and pick up these screws, or find the tape measure amongst the moving boxes. For this Paris trip, it was little things like download the form for the passport, schedule a time to go to the post office to get my picture taken, finish the client work so that I could pay for my passport, buy some luggage. And these things didn't all happen at once. These things were spread out over an entire year. Number 3 is to envision your dream. And one practical way you can do this is watch some movies that involve the things that you want to do. I watched The Secret Life of Walter Mitty and Amelie a lot. Secret Life of Walter Mitty, if you haven't seen it, is about a man who has this very dull, repetitive life, and he does a lot of things for other people, but his real life is in his imagination, and he has this fantastic imagination, but it does not reflect his outer world until some changes suddenly happen, and his outer world becomes more and more exciting. And he starts filling in this, he finds this old traveling notebook that he had always intended to fill out, but he'd never left the country. So under some certain circumstances, he ends up going through, I believe it's Iceland, and grabbing onto a helicopter, and He ends up jumping into the ocean. He also gets a longboard and ties 2 rocks to his hands, and he goes down these steep hills and he uses the rocks to kind of steady himself on the road so he doesn't chafe up his hands. And I remember seeing that movie years ago and thinking that my life was very similar to this. And I would watch that movie as sort of an inspiration to what it'd be like to start going on adventures and getting out of the country. And what's interesting is this trip has been a lot like that movie with those big hills, only I did it on bikes. And then I also had a vision board, but I do mine differently. I use a bunch of collaged pictures of the things that I want to do, many of which I've fulfilled on this trip. And I put it on the desktop of my computer, so I see it every day when I'm at work or when I'm just browsing the web. I close my browser and there's all the things that I want. There's an important saying that goes along with this, which is where your attention goes, your energy flows. And basically, you know, when you pay attention to the things that you want repeatedly, you're setting your intention for the future, and subconsciously and consciously, you're going after them. The 4th step is to create your future from the future. And I'm borrowing this phrase from, I heard Vishen Lakhiani say this from Mindvalley. And he, I believe, credited it to Amelia Earhart, but I've not been able to find the source of this quote. But create your future from the future. I took this to mean, think of the things that you want someday and pull them into the now. And so an example of this is, let's say you want to change your environment so that reflects the dream home you've always wanted. I've been doing this with my living room and my kitchen. Slowly, I've been doing this thing called incremental upgrade. And incremental upgrades is to look at the things that you have that don't really fit the energy or the feeling of the life that you want and slowly replace them. You don't have to do it all at once. So I have each paycheck replaced these dishes that I've had that I've not liked with these artisanal sets that I really enjoy. And I didn't buy the whole set at once, but I've just been buying a few pieces here. I'd get the bowls, I'd get the plates, I'd go back for another mug. And what happens is, along the way, you're able to enjoy the success in the now. In fact, if you're waiting for the someday success to make you happy, chances are that will not make you happy. You have to be able to find happiness in the now. So I've got a free tool for you. If you look in the description below, you'll see a Design Your Life, I believe it's called Design Your Life worksheet that I've used and other people have used to take a moment of intention to brainstorm the kind of things that they want and then to actually go through a simple process that'll help them go after them and incorporate some of the things that are in this video. So do me a favor and leave a comment below. What kind of goal are you setting for your life? What kind of big dreams do you want to go after? Set your intention right here in the comments. And what I want you to do is, 3 months from now, look back at these comments and check in and see how you've done. Thanks for watching.